Hello everybody and welcome back to Elderberry Sprout. Today we're finally getting back in my grimoire and we're doing a grimoire with me. So this spread I've kind of already started, but this was what I ended up doing to the page originally. So I knew that I wanted to have this like genie bottle essentially in here, so I made a little pouch for it originally. I wanted to change the color of the background of this page to match the more warmer tones going on the other page. So I found this napkin that has a really pretty color, and here I'm just delaminating it because napkins have multiple layers. So taking that top layer off and then finagling it on the page so that it fits prettily. And then I just adhere it all with a glue stick. But the genie bottle that I have here was originally made out of a piece of fused plastic that I had found somewhere, and just some garbage packaging from, like, I don't know if it was a curtain or what, and I just sewed it into this shape of a genie bottle and used some of the offcuts of the color to make a little cork. And I had glued some like cardstock to the cork portion of the little genie bottle topper thing to make it a little bit sturdier. And that way it can go in and out a little bit easier. And here you can just see I'm gluing all this down. I do really like using napkins for different patterns and colors because I feel like it's hard to get patterns on pages without really bulking them up sometimes, but napkins are so thin that it's a really great way to get patterns that you like consistently all over places. So, and I like light florals, I like dark florals, but this is definitely one of my favorite dark floral napkins that I have. So we've got the base of our page done. I definitely like that a lot more. And here I have this scrap that I wanted to use on the corner of the other page to kind of tie the pattern in a little bit better. And now I'm just brainstorming. I'm like, what do I want to have on this cork portion? It's so funny. So this little offcut was from a folder from the late 60s, I think. And I've had this offcut for so long, and this lady here has been staring at me for so long that I really associate her with presents because she's just been there watching. So I kind of wanted to bring that energy into this spread because this is essentially going to be a spread all about 3 different wishes that I want to wish for not only myself, but for others as well. And presents is definitely one of the things I want to wish for all people on Earth to have, or to be gifted with, really. They call it the present for a reason. And I like that you can see her out of the clear side, but you also can see her out of the front side, but just barely. Yeah, you can kind of see her eyes peeking out there. So let's add some words to this page. Yeah, if I would get 3 wishes from a genie, that's kind of the journal prompt that sparked this, really. Been focusing a lot on manifestations and what it is I'm trying to bring into the world through my conscious action. And this is what I came up with. This is just me digging through all of my scrap bins. I'm sure you guys have seen this gold tissue paper quite a bit. I have so many scraps of it, I just want to use it all up. But I also love me some shiny gold goodness. This is a piece of paper that was stained from fabric dye, and then we've got some brown paper that was a part of a bag, and this gold tissue paper. So yeah, all the paper that goes in my scrap bin is very scrappy, and all these little offcuts that I'm ripping up definitely going in the scrap bin too. I wanted to have different colors here just to signify the different wishes. I also thought it was kind of important to bring a little bit of a bluey green onto this right page because there is still a little bit of residual bluey green on the left page. So I tried to balance the colors out a little bit there. And now we've got the space to write down our wishes. I'm using the same set of stamps. I wish I knew what it was called so I could tell you guys. I just found it at a thrift store, unfortunately. But yeah, oh yeah, recently I've been using Stays On ink, and it is amazing. It's a great stamp pad. You can pretty much put it on anything. It really goes well on top of gel prints. It goes really well on top of all sorts of stuff. But yeah, even on fabric, I think you can like iron it on and it will like fuse to the fabric. Because I've been making tags for some of the clothes I've been making, so that's been working really well. Oh yeah, I wonder if you can tell which color I like in this palette more than the others. Yeah, I'm gonna have to start getting some more gold watercolor if I keep using it up at this rate. But I wanted to signify the magic leaving the genie bottle through using this gold shimmery watercolor. So I'm just adding it to the cork as well as adding it to these different wishes that are going to be appearing to come out of the bottle when I'm done with my watercoloring here. And essentially what I'm doing is turning all of these pieces of paper into like clouds of magic that are leaving the bottle. So I'm adding some swirly outlining to make it look more, I don't know, more flowy, like it's coming out of a bottle. Plus, you know me, I love my swirls. So any chance I can add some more floaty, cloudy swirls, I'm on board. It's so funny that this is such a simple thing to do, but this was a really rewarding part of the practice, is just like focusing on the energies of these words and adding gold magic around them. I don't know, sometimes it's these simple processes that take a little while that really allow for you to connect with what magic it is that you're brewing. The cool thing about having pages like this in your grimoire is that you're able to open them up and have them on your altar space, and they can bring you back into a center of what it is that you want to create. I feel like it's really powerful to have artwork that you've created in your own home, and that's something I've been really trying to focus on, is like pouring my creative energy into beautiful things that I get to look at that bring me joy. So I've been finding some really cool book holders that allow for me to show those pages so I can remember what my intentions truly are. I've got this string here that I'm going to be turning into the magic that is leaving the bottle. This is a really fun part. So I'm essentially making lots of lengths of string, and then I'm going to cut them down and glue them onto these, I guess, pillows of magic that are flying out of the genie bottle. And this is a completely arbitrary length. I could have planned a little bit better, but I definitely was not thinking ahead with this. Just using whatever string was there. And it was kind of fun. Actually, these tiny spools, it ended up being just about the perfect amount of string for me to do this one project with. So it was nice to use that up. I've had these little spools forever, so kind of a relief. I don't know if anyone else feels that way. If you're a crafter and you have a lot of weird craft materials, that you feel relieved when you use something up. Especially if you've had it around for a long time. It's like, oh my gosh, finally found a place for this thing. Yeah, now I'm just gluing all these strings down. So my thought is that if I make this an interactive page, I'll be able to connect with like uncorking this energy more because there is that active action of uncorking. You know what I mean? That's part of what having a really interactive spread is about, is it forces you to take an action, and that action takes intention and conscious awareness, and it's not going to be done on accident, and you really have to put the effort into doing that to make it work. So that's part of what's so fun about these. You could see, yeah, you could see that I finished up the first couple of strings there, but I need to make another little set of strings from the piece one. And I'm just adhering these with the glue stick still. Nothing fancy. With this I might have wanted to add a little bit more strong of an adhesive, but meh, glue stick's fine enough. Bam. And then I'm just adding a little bit of gold watercolor on top of this string because it was more of a like rose gold than a true gold, so I'm kind of just like camouflaging where they blend together to make it a little bit more yeah, I guess well camouflaged, make it a little bit more flowy. I've been finding that string is a really great material to use inside of grimoires because it doesn't bulk up your book a whole bunch. I mean, in this case I used quite a lot of string, so it bulked it up a little bit, but it doesn't always have to, and I feel like string is a really easy thing to interact with in your book. So if you do want to create some type of more dimensional but still semi-flat element, I feel like string is a great material to use. And it's so funny that I wouldn't have thought that I had a style, but after watching a lot of my own videos or like taking a step back and looking at what I do see myself gravitating towards similar patterns, and one of those patterns is using the energy of gold a whole bunch. Here I'm just straightening out all the strings here to make them a little bit more flowy when I glue them onto the cork. But yeah, seeing myself use this gold so much is really making me think about what gold represents to me. I mean, it has a very royal energy, but yeah, I guess I just didn't realize how much I gravitate towards it. I also got my nose pierced, and the default ring that I had put in was gold. So it made me think a little bit about how, oh, I guess this really is a thing I'm gravitating towards. I don't know, I'm a pretty adaptable person, so sometimes I doubt that I have such strong preferences, but especially in instances when it's really all my own creative energy, I'm like, oh, I do have a style going on. This is like a very me thing. I don't know. Do any of you artists feel that way out there where you're like, I don't know if I have a style, but then everybody else is like, oh, you definitely have a style. It's like we're so in it, sometimes we can't see we can't see that we're looking through our own personal lenses, you know what I mean? Seeing the world with our own perspective. And on the genie bottle, I just put a couple of runes. I tried to use runes that are most connected to these concepts, but they're not a one-to-one translation, so I got as close as I could. And to kind of pair with that cork idea of having the lady with her presence looking out, I wanted to decorate the bottle with an eyeball as well. And this is just a normal old gold pen from the Dollar Tree. I also end up using a white paint pen to color in the whites of the eye and a Sharpie for the pupil. Going back to the concept of an artist and their own personal style, it's funny that I do not actually enjoy how I draw eyeballs, but it's so consistent. Like, I can tell if an eyeball is drawn by me. I don't know, there's something about the incorrect proportion is consistently incorrect over and over and over again. So it's really funny to be able to observe imperfection in yourself and say, hey, it's a feature, not a bug, right? The imperfection is a part of who you are, and that's it's a beautiful thing. And if it really bugged me, I'm sure I could do some eyeball studies and actually figure out how to draw eyeballs better. But I don't know if it bugs me that much. I just wanted to add a little bit more definition, so I'm adding some paint pen polka dots, and I'm going to be doing a drop shadow to the rest of the words as well. Except it's not really a drop shadow, it's like a drop highlight, I guess. I don't know how you'd call it. I'm highlighting the underside of all these words. But yeah, oh, we're getting so close to the end of the spread. If you guys had 3 wishes for all of humanity to experience, what would you choose? I'd love to hear in the comments what you guys think. Because I feel like sometimes there's answers like, you know, I would end world hunger, or I would eliminate greed. But I feel like a lot of those are just symptoms of a lack of some of these elements. Like, people aren't being present enough. We're not loving enough. We're not being present in our bodies and feeling peaceful. You know, I feel like those would help remedy a lot of the symptoms of the dysfunction of our societies. But tell me what you guys think in the comments below. I'd love to hear your perspectives. And maybe if we can all align on some things we all want to bring into the world, we can do it all together. And because I have this beautiful genie bottle, I want to make a little letter to myself about what these things mean to me. Because each one of these words that I chose did have like an idea behind it of like how it would help the world, how it would help me to experience more of this, how it would help the world to experience more of this. So I'm just doing a little bit of journaling about that. Ooh, my when it's sped up like this, you can really see my candle flickering over there. Yeah, this is about an 1.5 hour candle, I think. And I think it goes out right at the very end of the video too. So I guess that's about how long it took to do this spread. I make all sorts of diameters of beeswax candles, and this one was a Hanukkah diameter candle. So it's about 4.5 inches tall. Lasts for about an 1.5 hours. So I feel like it's nice to have candles that put a time limit on what you're doing. It was funny that this one ended up dying at like the perfect time. So I'm just writing down my little blurb using a normal pen. Oh, and then rolling it towards myself because these are things I want to create and bring into the world and bring into my life. If there were things I was banishing, I would definitely roll away from myself. And then I'm corking up the bottle and putting it away. And there it is. I'm so happy with how this turned out. I just love this page. Something about the bright pinks make me feel so, I don't know, so myself. And the gold shimmer. My little bottle. Some flowers. Ah, I love the 3-dimensional element with the string and the magic coming out of the bottle. I just love how this worked. You know, not every spread I make I'm in love with, but I can really say I love this spread. It also helps that this spread's about happy things. Thank you so much for watching, you guys, and I hope you have a magical day. See you next time. Bye.